Hello and welcome to Law and Order SVU here on FANVERSATION. I am so excited to be joined by my incredible panel. Felicia Michelle is here. Hello, Felicia.
Hi, guys.
Hello, and Taylor Gates is here.
As always, you know it.
Amazing.
I don't know. I just did peace signs. That was not gang. I just wanted everyone to know that was just peace signs.
Okay.
I'm not in a gang. Except for I am in this podcast gang, if that's what we're referring to.
We're in this gang. I'm Yael Tygiel. I'm so excited to be joined by my panel today to discuss season 13, episode 11, Theater Tricks. This is definitely an episode we have loved. Taylor, stop with your gang signs?
I was trying to do that number, and I did it backwards.
Is that right?
See, it's hard. It's not that easy. It's not
that easy.
For
audio listeners, you're missing shenanigans, but we're not.
You're missing me not being able to count, is what you're missing.
It's fine. Before we jump into this episode, which I know is an episode we all love, I would like to remind everybody of the hotline. If you need help, the number you want to call is 1-800-656-4673. 1-800-656-4673. That is the RAINN Hotline. What, perchance, does that spell?
It spells hope.
It does spell hope. It does. Zach is watching us. Welcome, Zach, who says the gang's all here. Yes.
Exactly, Zach. Thank you.
The gang is here.
The gang's here.
All right. Before we jump in, as a reminder, our show sometimes says some things that might not be super kosher. So please be aware of that. Consider this your content warning. This episode does deal with assault. This episode does deal with stalking and surveillance and voyeurism and all sorts of things. So please know that we will say things that may not be appropriate for all viewers. Done.
Yeah.
There's a lot of thoughts about rape fantasies, so we will get into that.
Can't wait.
Okay.
There's a lot to unpack in this one episode. So.
Absolutely. All right. Here is the quick cap for this episode. Again, season 13, episode 11, Theater Tricks. SVU tries to figure out who is responsible for a real-life rape of an actress during an interactive theater performance that everybody just assumed was part of the show. So I've said that we love this episode. Upon fifth viewing, can I see who still loves it, who's over it, who thinks it's overappreciated?
Oh, no. What?
I love it. Still.
This is a great episode. There's life lessons in it because I'll tell you right now, I said, boom, it's her friend, because I have had a lot of haters in my life and I could spot a hater a mile away. Away. As soon as she popped up, I said, oop, friend, it's her. When she handed her the juice, I was like, she don't like her. She don't like her. She does not like her.
Okay.
We get into it, but that's the moment I was like, she don't like her.
Interesting. Taylor?
That's fair. I mean, I love that twist, of course. And then the end, we have that big dramatic moment where it's like the big reveal. And just the concept of this is wild with the interactive theater. Like, listen, I love dinner theater, interactive theater. This seems a little much for me personally, but we love the concept. I love that Adam Driver's in this for like no reason.
This is before he was.
Yeah.
Just to clarify, this was before he was in Girls, which was like his big break.
I couldn't remember like the order of everything, but I was just like, "What's up, Adam Driver? Love this for you."
He was great in this.
He is wonderful.
Very, very well.
This is perhaps his best role.
No question in my mind.
Girls.
No.
Star Wars, whatever. This is SVU.
This episode is his best performance.
It's true. That's facts.
I would like, when Adam Driver wins an Oscar, because eventually he will, I would like this to be in the package.
I agree.
This performance.
Oh yeah, the top of it, for sure.
I remember when Jeff Bridges like was getting nominated or getting some award of the Oscars, and they didn't put a clip from Stick It in there, and I was so offended.
Agreed.
Like, so offended. I was like, "Where's Stick It? Where's his best role?" And that's how it's gonna be with Adam Driver for this.
Oh, Stick It! What a quality film.
It's too good. It's my favorite movie. It's so good.
If I wasn't sure about myself before that movie, I was definitely sure after.
So valid of you.
Felicia, you haven't seen Stick It?
I saw like the preview for it, but it just didn't appeal to me.
Okay, get out. Bye-bye. Girl.
I'm sorry. Teenage
You.
gymnastics didn't appeal to you?
No.
Yes, it out.
Check it out maybe another time.
Big time.
We'll watch it together.
I'll quote the whole thing for you right now. Don't worry. Yeah.
Next gang meeting, we'll be watching that.
Yeah.
Stop, because people are really going to think they're like, real gang, especially with Taylor Swift.
And you know what? If all we do is talk SVU and watch Stick It, that's a great gang, and I would join it.
Okay, but there has to be some type of snacks.
Obviously.
Yeah, of course.
Did I not supply snacks last time we had a screening?
There were snacks.
Come on now, y'all.
Okay, let's get back to this episode.
Yeah, let's do that.
So I will talk about interactive theater as we get into Rip from the Headlines portion of the show. But first, let's talk about who is in this theater, because if you missed it, Coco makes an appearance. That is right. Ice-T's wife, Coco, says something and then starts making out with some girl.
As she should. We love that for her. I ship it.
That's one of her, I believe, 3 appearances on the show.
Yeah, she's on a lot.
I'm not saying about Coco because Ice-T claps back at everybody. I'm good.
I love Coco. I love when she comes.
We love her. We're just saying she's there. We're just pointing it out. If you missed it, that was
right. Strike 2 for Felicia.
I can't add my commentary because Ice-T claps back at everybody.
Oh.
So I'm just not saying anything. Oh my God. Okay, sorry. I thought there was something on my screen and I was like, is there a bug on my wall?
All right.
So sorry. So we saw Coco. Yeah, she was making out with the girl. And the interesting part about it, I paid way too much attention to like the different masks. I was like, okay, yeah, the mask probably like it means something. Like,
is this your first time watching this episode?
It's the first time watching it, as a grown person who knows more about the world.
Okay.
This was very sensual, sexual, and sometimes those nuances are lost on you when you're a little bit younger. So I was like paying very close attention to this. Like, okay, does these different things mean something? Or when someone picks this kind of animal, is this personality? Like, why would the judge pick, whatever the one he picked? I forget what it was he picked. Which animal did he pick?
He was the goat, the ram.
Yeah, something with horns.
Yeah. It's so interesting. I love the masks, especially when Adam Driver's character, whose name is Jason, when he's like, I was the donkey.
I was a donkey. That was one of my quotes. Hiding behind a goat mask. I was a donkey. Make that clear, Adam.
Sorry, is that something to be proud of? You were the donkey?
I was the donkey.
I don't know.
Now I'm thinking about Shrek.
Nice. I just feel like a couple of things about these masks. Here's how I would do it. First of all, the choices of the animals I think is interesting. I think calling them the way that they called them was odd. So like when the theater critic was picking his mask and we see that, and she says, how do you feel? Do you feel like a monkey? And I was like, no one wants to be like, yeah, I'm a monkey. They want to be like, I'm an ape. It's all, when you talk about, Felicia, the sexuality and the sensuality of this, it makes me wonder why they weren't like trying to, he wasn't a goat mask. It was a ram. It was trying to like, masculinize it, I guess.
I don't know how to make anything hot.
I don't either.
I make everything hot.
You do. That's true. Your voice.
Oh, thank you.
Phone operator voice. Yeah.
So funny.
But if you're listening to us on iTunes and you're loving these lovely voices, you can go ahead and give us a 5-star rating just for that voice, Maybe I should did it in my Yael Tygiel voice. Sorry,
yeah, let's hear it.
It's just no. I just got the accent. I don't have nothing else. That's it.
I like this. We should do impressions of each other.
Oh, Jesus. No, we should not.
Let's stay friends.
That's fair. That's fair. Moving along. I really love that this is an episode with Fisher Stevens. For those who don't recall, Fisher Stevens was our photographer Gilbert in another episode, which Taylor, what's the photographer episode?
I don't know.
You know all the titles.
Photographer episode. Yeah, but that is very vague.
No, it's not. Hold on. I got this. SVU.
No?
Gilbert. Photographer. And the answer is fashionable crimes.
Okay. Yeah.
He's Alvin Gilbert. His name is Alvin Gilbert.
Gilbert?
No? Nobody remembers that episode?
Vaguely.
All right. Well, we'll have to rewatch
that
it.
That was a season I hadn't rewatched a lot.
I see. What was that? What are you mouthing? The audio.
That's a season I haven't rewatched a lot.
And then you said something else.
That's all I said.
Season 17.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So anyway,
exactly.
Anyway, I appreciate. We're doing great today. I appreciate that he's a repeat offender, and that both times he's awful. Both times he's like a creative who's taking advantage of young ingenues. Like, how typecast could this one man be?
That's true.
He
knows his thing. He sticks with it.
Felicia, what'd you say?
So he plays creepy well. I thought to myself in watching the episode though, like, how you just like, he's like rubbing on one of your shoulders and stuff. And I was like, maybe I'm like, something is with the friend. Cause I told you I could spot a hater a mile away. But it was like, okay, something is, what made it believable is because these men were already sleazy. Like they were already sleazeballs, kind of. A judge could be great, could be sleazy because they probably were a lawyer before, and like lawyers kind of sleazy sometimes. A director, probably.
What are you trying to say? I'm a director. What are you trying to say? Say it to my face.
And actually, you're at a director, and you're at what? Okay. At the end of the episode, because there's a reason that Taylor's in a different space. She's a superstar, guys. Just don't even let her front. We'll talk about it in the episode where she'll tell you where to find her at. So anyway, I just couldn't understand. Like I knew it was something to do with the friend, but how that twist turned all around. It was just like, okay, didn't expect that at all. Like couldn't believe that she did that, right? Because look at Megan's like hot and young and pretty and you know, and she's kind of like the friend who plays the background, you know, like she's not the Beyonce of the group, of the two. Like, you know, her struggling, it can make you really hate someone. And so why I say I noticed it when she brought her the juice was because she made a joke and she started laughing with the detectives when she handed her the beverage. First off, she brought her some beet juice. You're not my friend. You're not my friend. I've just been hurt. I'm sad. You're frappe or something that has sugar, chocolate. I don't know, beet juice, like whatever that was, whatever fresh squeezed BS that was. You could have left it. Like so, and then like it was the giggle for me. It was like the person in the shadows, right? And sometimes you find that like, when someone is like really elevated or a different spot, it's hard for people around them in their lives. She's like, I just moved to New York. I just got this great opportunity. It happened for me. And I was like, oh, she's an actress too. Competition. And sometimes like people just really lose their head around. Now, I'm not saying lose your head, like set your friend, one of your best friends from back home up to get sexually assaulted in front of 100+ people. But some type of level of sabotage can happen. But she kind of got back at them all, though, if you think about it. Not just her. She got the judge. She got anybody who made her feel worthless. She kind of got back at them. And they said like, oh, she doesn't have any remorse at the end. And I was like, I thought to myself, I don't think it's that she lacks remorse. I think it's just that it doesn't even make sense to her. Why would I feel bad for them? Like, it's not like, oh, I just like lack the ability, because she feels bad for herself. So she knows what pity is and feeling bad for someone is, but like, they're equal now. Now we're equal. And because I had to bring you down here, even if, you know, because I couldn't elevate up, I had to bring you down with me.
Yeah.
Your haters.
I think you're totally right. I want to give a shout out to Gail Rankin, who plays Holly. She went on to be one of the leads in Glow. She is an amazing actress, and this performance is just so wonderful.
I was sitting there wondering, like, where do I know her eyebrows from?
Yes, she is the wolf from Glow.
Yes, I know that now, because I was thinking, she's like, I'm not pretty. I was watching, she's like, I'm not pretty like you, and I was like, you're pretty. You just need to get an arch in your eyebrow. Like, you're pretty, but, like, you just got to arch your brows, and like, you know, because it frames your face. So y'all laughing. I'm serious, but. And so, and then when you said Glow, and I was like, the brows, and she plays and her wrinkled, and her face is always wrinkled like that. Wow, you learn something new every day.
So I agree with you. I think one of the things that I love about this episode, and I realized it watching it this time, that it's the same thing I love about Intent, which is the double catfish episode with the monster and the influencer, is that both these women who were like, my life's crappy and I deserve better and everyone else should be brought down to my level, both of them went above and beyond, like really like solidified their plan in a way that was so wonderfully connived that if they were a good guy, they could do such good things. But they didn't. So like the fact that she got right, she framed the lawyer and the director is just so impressive.
It's genius.
It's evil genius. And
it's giving me Roseanne She-Devil vibes, if you've ever seen that movie.
No.
She-Devil, and Meryl Streep is in it. And it's good. Rosie O'Donnell like gets her husband stolen, and she like goes through this whole thing. I don't want to give it away, but it's a really, really good movie. I'm like 99% sure it's called She-Devil. I used to watch it when I was little all the time. I'm about to look it up. Continue discussing. I will verify.
All right. So one of the things, before we get to like the big twist at the end, because I do really want to talk about that as well. I want to talk about this Amaro, she's an actress thing. Yes, Taylor, that face.
What the beep? Like, what is happening with that? I hated that so much. I thought it was so weird. I also thought it was weird. Like, okay, so this is season 13. And we know Amanda was not the wokest person season 13, and yet she's the one being like, what is going on? Even Olivia's like, and Cragen are like, well, she's an actress. And then Cragen's like, point taken. And Olivia's like, yeah, I get it. Like, we have to investigate. And Amanda's the one that's like, what are you talking about? This dynamic made no sense to me here at all.
I agree 100%. It also, later on when they are looking at the Sugar Babies website, it's odd because Finn goes, isn't this prostitution? And I went, I'm sorry, did you forget 2 seasons ago in the episode Sugar that we just discussed when you were like, nah, this is how relationships work? It should have been Amaro should have been like, isn't this prostitution? Because he follows up with the next question. It feels weird in this season that we'd have these people ask these questions the way they did. I think Amaro being like, she's an actress is totally Amaro, and Cragen. Yes.
But how are we having Amanda be the one who's like, that makes no sense. And then I don't get it. But I did like the line, sounds like a lot of the marriages I know. Like, that was really funny from her, but it should not have been her line. Like, that doesn't make sense for her character in season 13. Yes, I do not understand. Maybe they were just like, okay, we need, like, oh, people aren't warming up to her. We need someone to, like, be on her side is what I'm, like, genuinely thinking could have happened here. Like, they gave that to her to, like, for people to like her more, because she did come in pretty hot, like Amanda Rollins did. Yeah. But it didn't make sense with anyone's character to have that be the dynamic of that.
I'm trying to think, is this before it's revealed to us about what happened to her in Atlanta?
Oh, yeah.
So this particular part stuck out to me. And she was like, everybody, who can this girl trust? Like, who can she trust? And then I started to think, well, maybe like, or a lot of the reason why we see Amanda act the way she does is she just genuinely doesn't trust anybody. She hasn't disclosed to anybody on the team at this point what happened to her, and that's the last job that she had. And I take it, coming from a rough job to a new job, sometimes that stuff can come with you when you don't take care of it, emotionally. So I'm thinking like, okay, so maybe to like that point what Taylor was saying, like, okay, well, maybe this was just like a break, like emotional for her, personal for her. Like, who can she trust? Because like Amanda was assaulted by her superior, like someone supposed to get advice from, look up to, So I thought maybe she saw a little bit of herself in the victim, even though traditionally in that season she's the more skeptic, don't believe anybody, like, whatever, sure, you're right type of.
Those are really great points. When she asked Benson, my notes are like, she asked Benson, WTF? She says, I keep wanting to think that things have changed. And then Benson says, compared to the way they used to be, they have changed, which is, I feel like Benson would be like, I know, it's so slow going. Not like, yeah, this is different. No, it's
literally not. Why are you defending this? I hated that really a lot. Like, I really hated it.
I hated it too. And then at the end, when Rollins asks, when she talks to Benson and she says, like, there have been so many men in her life. How do you do this job? How do you go on?
Exact quote. How do you trust any man ever? And I said, big mood.
I said,
mood.
Yeah.
You don't.
But then Rollins says, with all the abusive men in her life, and she was betrayed by a woman. And all I could think was, this event and how it unfolded for Megan, I imagine she trusts no one now.
Right.
All these men were abusive, and then the one person she trusted, a woman, betrayed her, set up the entire betrayal.
It's like, no, it's the not being able to trust yourself. It's in another episode from last season where I forget, the guy was before the probation officers, and he just recanted basically exactly what his victim said about, I couldn't trust myself.
Yes.
I might be able to trust in myself. It's not about trusting other people. It's now I can't trust myself at all, because remember, she thought, oh, he's the nice IT guy. Like, he's sweet. I just thought he was harmless. I didn't think anything of it. Or I'm best friends. When she said, I'm best friends with all my exes, I said, this girl trusts anybody. Who's best friends with all their exes? Really? All of them? Like, and sometimes people do live that life where they get the luxury of not having to come up against like bad things or bad people, and their life and their world is really rosy, even though we know that's not the case. It's a shame that was this character's wake-up call, and then like it happened in front of so many people. I kind of went like this when it was happening too. I just like kind of covered my eyes. I mean, I get they thought it was fake, but wouldn't that make you uncomfortable? I don't know. I'd make me really uncomfortable. And then the guy held her wrist. The fuck is you doing? Oh, sorry. Like, what the fuck is you doing?
You're allowed to swear on our show.
I got scared earlier. That's why I bleeped myself out. But I don't know why I did that. I know that I can swear.
It wasn't the curse word. It was my volume more so anything else. I'm like,
you're just screaming.
Yeah, but your volume was accurate. So was your words. Accurate.
Yeah.
Everybody
is that
sucks.
How interactive theater works? Like, because I've never been to interactive theater. I've been to sit down and watch theater, but never interactive theater.
I am not a fan of interactive theater, but I understand the idea that people would not know, because the point is, it's theater. It's supposed to make you think. It's supposed to make you feel. And so, like SVU, like movies, you're supposed to be uncomfortable.
If I'm buying a ticket for something, I'm not gonna do the work. You're gonna perform for me. I'm not gonna pay to perform. I'm just gonna say that right now.
There's
I'm not gonna be an interactive theater.
But isn't like audience participation like kind of written in? Like, isn't it kind of usually like staged? Like, when they're doing like the shows or like the cruise, and they're like, oh, somebody's a time for this, and they're just acting, but maybe not.
Yeah, but this. So for those who didn't catch how this one works.
It's artsy fartsy stuff.
You have to walk through this to see it. It's like an installation. So to get the whole story, you have to go room to room and see the story unfold.
Yeah, but
I either go to museum or I go to theater. I'm not doing both.
I would do that, but I wouldn't like go to parties.
Would not. It's like a haunted house. Like when you go and the people like, and it's like, don't get near me. You don't want that to happen.
That's why I don't go, because you can't hit them.
Exactly, and they're allowed to do whatever they want to you.
They're not allowed to touch you.
Like,
well, I just don't feel violated.
I think that's the thing. Is if I know for a fact that when you do like a haunted house, you're not allowed to. No one's allowed to touch. So when you watch this, I guess the idea that you see people touching who are supposed to be audience members touching the cast, like that should be the big red flag right there.
No for me. No, not happening.
I want to talk about real quick because I want to make sure we do not miss this. We cannot gloss over it. Alex and Benson were on a date.
Yeah. That's facts. I literally said in my notes, seems fruity. Seems fruity.
Felicia, you disagree? That was very much an ice skating date.
That's because you're homophobic right now, Felicia.
Oh my God, that is not fair. Then I can say you're being racist. That's not fair.
That's true. She is being racist. Go on.
Oh my gosh. We'll just throw an anti-Semitic in there, and then we got a trifecta going. Like, just why not?
All right, moving along.
We're terrible. Oh, let's preface that with all those are actually jokes amongst friends.
Yes.
Now I can't even think what I was going to say, because now I'm like, oh, get us canceled.
We're talking about the date.
The date.
Yeah, I wish that we could see a little bit more of that, because like, what's conversation were you having? Like, what was it about that y'all were just kicking it? Because like, I can't remember like when y'all just used to kick it like before. So y'all think it's a date?
It was a date.
Olivia,
I think it was a date. I know.
I mean, there's been no confirmation to anyone's sexuality.
There's been no denial. Yeah, there's no. It's been either way.
Okay, I'm sorry that didn't happen for you guys the rest of the way.
They're still dating.
Yeah.
Prove to me that they're not.
Oh, I forgot. There's the alternate universe that.
Yeah.
Right.
Barisi's there, and then Alex and Olivia.
They could have a double wedding, like a double ceremony thing. And then they find a woman yelling for help a half a mile around the block, and then they have to stop the whole thing, and then it's a movie. Law and Order SVU. Call me up. We're gonna write that movie. Taylor's gonna direct it. Yael's gonna be a script supervisor, writer assistant. Yes, we're gonna get it done.
Sure.
Yael's gonna wants to be a newscaster in it.
Thank you.
I know that's your dream.
We're here at the wedding of.
You're gonna report on the crime.
No, I want to report on the wedding.
Okay. Like an E-News, like the royal wedding coverage. Yeah. Great.
Tell me, who are you wearing?
That's good. You're cast.
A slamming pair of jeans.
She's wearing a slamming pair of jeans, everybody. We have lost our shit today.
We did.
I love this episode, and I feel like we haven't talked about any of the things that happened in it, but it was such a good episode.
Go, Yael, you go.
Okay, here's the thing. So when Judge Crane starts talking about how Megan arranged it was her rape fantasy, he's done these rape fantasies, blah, blah, blah. It made me think about previous episodes where we've had similar situations where a woman was raped and it was a set up for a rape fantasy. At no point have we legitimately had a person, I guess, a woman with a rape fantasy. Every time
it's a setup.
It's a setup, which I think is interesting because there are people who do have this fantasy, and the fact that the show has only used it as a means to attack a woman feels insensitive.
No.
That's an interesting point.
Felicia?
I don't think so, because the majority, it's a small percentage of women who probably have this rape fantasy, because you have to separate. There's different levels of kink.
Right.
Some people enjoy, different levels of bondage, choking, all that stuff, right? But a rape fantasy is something totally different on a whole different level. And there are not many people, the large majority of women don't have rape fantasies. So because the large majority doesn't, and there is a good enough majority of men who believe that women actually want to be raped, that they are asking for, that they want it. They truly believe that some women have rape fantasies, right? They truly believe this. And so unfortunately, television is real life to some people. And one episode where somebody legitimately rapes somebody, something like that, could be dangerous messaging. So I wouldn't write it. I wouldn't write it. I wouldn't direct it. I wouldn't act in it.
I see your point 100%. I think that what's interesting is this show has like shown us different kinks and shown us the healthy ways to have them. You know, for example, the episode we did, Ridicule, which had the autoerotic asphyxiation. We talked about how people do this healthily and safely, and then it was used in a crime. And I think that it's so weird that the show would only use rape fantasies as a crime, because as we see, there is a safe word. There is, like all, you know, kink and BDSM, there are ways to do it safely, consensually. The whole point of it is consent, and everybody's enjoying themselves. And I think that when you discuss it, it just feels weird to me that we've had 22 seasons and we've had the idea of somebody who was into a rape fantasy, and at no point is it ever the woman. And I would like to see the research and stats, because I think that that's interesting, and I wonder how many people really are and how many people aren't.
Yeah, that's a good point.
My research that I've lived 30 years, and I haven't met any woman that I met that was raped, that was interested in being raped, or any woman who's expressed to me that she's interested in a rape fantasy. Maybe some types of other kinks or BDMS or whatever all the other stuff is. Yeah, but rape is just a level of violation.
But it would still be consensual. It would just be like a role play type thing. So it would still be consensual. It just wouldn't.
No, I understand the logic of what you're saying, but what I'm saying is that that's dangerous messaging, because there are a lot of toxic predators who see and get really around. Oh, well, then women want that. Men already don't know what the fuck women want at all. Okay, let's not sprinkle that on top of it. Like, that's the worst. I don't know. Get something in writing. I don't know what agreements people come to. I'm sure they come to other agreements. They safely play, but I don't even want to joke and be like, oh, some women, like, let's not even go down there.
It makes me think of an episode from the most recent season, Turn Me On, Take Me Private, which is, I think, my favorite episode of the season.
That was such a good episode.
But that one shows her role playing in a stranger rape fantasy alone, and I think that is the closest that we'll be able to get on TV for safety issues. And I think you're right, Felicia. I think that's a really good point. And I think that, you know, that showed again, like, she was safe and alone, which is why it was okay.
I feel like if they wanted to explore it, it would take too much out of the storyline of it, because you'd have to figure out a way to explain it, like, safely and all the intricate details of it. And sometimes, like, even with the asphyxiation episode, like, we got a little bit of it, but they really didn't explain it that well. We had to break it down more on this episode. So I don't think that's something you want to skim across, you know?
Sure. Absolutely. Great points. Any other thoughts on the episode before we move into our favorite line?
Was Gilbert Godfrey was in the freaking episode. Why you just, oh my gosh, I love him so much. Ever since I was a little kid, I used to do his like voice and stuff. I like really like him.
Yeah, he did a couple episodes as this this tech guy, which I found very funny.
I want to talk about how I love, well, this is messed up to say, but I'm going to say it. I love it when we get like a shrine and we got a shrine and they had all those pictures. Like, the set design is always just so wild for those. I'm like, how is your mother either not knowing about this or not calling the police?
She's like, it's his girlfriend.
Even so, too much. But I did like how we got that, because I always think that's like a wild touch, how people like actually have those
mothers who are always stick by their weirdo sons. Like it's always a mom, a single mom, and her son, and he's a weirdo, and he's always in like his room or in the basement working on something.
Ask to see what they're working on. Okay.
If someone has a basement project, first tell them if you're going down to someone's basement to look at their project, and then go check it out.
Yeah.
I always wonder how they get all those photos.
Right? Like, she's not a big actress yet. Like, social media, I guess.
I assume they like take one production day and are like, great, we're going to take 1 hour and just shoot a bunch of photos.
I thought you were talking about how the character was gotten it, because I'm like, where did he get that? Like, it's not paparazzi photos.
No, those are his stalker photos.
Yeah.
I know production-wise how they do it.
That's good. That's a good point too.
Well, I know sometimes they'll ask people like for baby pictures, or they do like family things and stuff like that. But I was thinking that too, like that's a lot of pictures. Thank you for the pictures. Girl, that's probably was like, I had to change again. Like she had like a brush thing with him too. When he was like, oh, I wouldn't have made that account like that. I have way hotter pictures of her. Look, I'm just.
I loved that part. The pictures he pulled weren't hotter.
Oh, I was like, you can't look at her back. Like this one, you can see, like, I don't understand.
At the one of her in the shower, I was like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. She's in a towel, but like, I like that we're judging.
It was very OnlyFans-esque.
Yeah.
But then that made me think, right? Like I have a cover for this webcam here, and I just like, I just bought it. I don't know why. I was like, I'll just buy it, like just in case I look ugly and it pops open. When the camera pops open sometimes and you like, oh my God, is that how I look? I just didn't want to have that moment. So I got that for that. But then the more I thought about it, and I was like, oh my God, literally a webcam. Anybody can access anything. Like if they wanted to come on here, if they really wanted to hack our show and be like, I'm here, y'all. Like it can happen.
You're welcome, hackers. Like,
no.
I'm
First
kidding.
Of all, this is my show. No.
Whoa. Okay. I thought this was a team effort.
No. Well,
now I see what you really think about
me. It wasn't until you invited hackers.
But if you are hacking, though, if you could just go to iTunes and give us 5 stars, and then go to Sally Mae and DM I give you my full government name, and then you know what to do.
Okay. I will say I also have a thing, a little cover for my camera. And it's because SVU and NCIS both have had episodes where the police needed to use the camera on the computer to see what was happening. And that was when I went, no, not dealing with this.
Not gonna catch me.
No.
They'd be pretty bored looking at what I do all day. Pretty bored.
They'd be like, she does not look like she does on TV.
They're like, the girl needs to maybe brush her hair. Like, it's just embarrassing.
All right, let's get into our best lines from this episode. Where's the button? There it is. Okay. Felicia, would you like to go first?
Sure. This is the scene where Amanda's like, do you not trust any guys out there? And then Olivia says, I haven't given up hope. There are still good guys out there. And I was like, oh, shit.
I don't believe it.
Wow, I was surprised. Go on.
I was like, no, absolutely not. I answered Amanda's question. I was like, no, none of them. Trash. Basuda. Get it out of here. And the next one was, I forget who said this. No, it was Amaro. He said, wow, a lot going on under those robes.
Yeah, that's good.
I was like, yeah, it was a whole freak. A whole.
We don't kink shame here.
Why is freak a shame word? Some people love that. They're like, I'm a freak. People say,
all right. My apologies. Go on.
My apologies to the freaks.
I just want to clarify that we don't kink shame here. Go on.
That's it.
Okay.
I'm like waiting for Taylor to go. I'm like, okay, go ahead, Taylor.
Oh, is it my turn?
No, it's my turn. Because Taylor has the most.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Sorry. I would let Taylor go first, but then we would never.
No, you wouldn't. It's your show. You go.
You're the Beyonce. We're Destiny's Children. We get it.
Okay. So my lines are: "This isn't a theater; it's a crime scene." And then I think this. I guess I think these are just the best lines. I live in hell. I don't need to see a play about it.
You know that I wrote that one. That's my life motto. I don't know what you're talking about. I live in hell. I don't need to see a play about it. So cool.
This is a Gilbert Godfrey line. Motion activate is terrific until she gets a cat. I don't think I ever noticed the second part of that sentence. And I've watched this episode many times. And today I went, did he just say until she gets a cat? And then pick your pervert.
Yeah.
Those are my lines. All right, Taylor, take us home.
Yeah, same woman who said that I don't need to see a play about it. Just the way that she delivers Dante who just really gets me. I really love that. She's a legend. Bring her back every episode, please. If I wanted to assault an actress, I'd do it in print. It's like, whoa. Megan can barely figure out how to turn her computer on. Pretty adorable. I was like, oh, is that? It's kind of embarrassing at this point. Well, oh man, we're rubbing your mother's feet.
Yeah, that feels. I want to be like Finn. You want to understand, like a mother. That's important. Rub her feet, damn it.
Yeah, and then finally, just because it's such a vicious, nasty line about time something bad happened in your life, don't you think? I was like, holy shit. Whoa, that's a rough one. But it's like in the same vein as like, why not? Like the Lily Reinhardt episode, like,
yeah,
about time something bad happened in your life, don't you think? Not that, bestie. Come on.
Vicious.
I don't know how to just mollywop her right then and there. About time, yes. I mean, now something's about to happen to you. I think that they will let her get a couple pops in. I do.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
They would. I imagine they'd be like, "No, don't."
Okay.
Just gonna look over here for a second.
All right. That's it. Stop. No, not another one. No, stop. That's how I break up a fight. All right. So, as I mentioned earlier, this episode is vaguely ripped from the headlines. I wish we had a sound cue for that. Thanks. That was beautiful.
I went with the literal ripping.
I like both of those because you ripped and she headlined. That was beautiful. Great. Thanks, team.
No problem. Oh, so now we're a team. Okay.
We're always a team.
Anyway, it's your show. It's fine. Go ahead.
All right. So this episode was vaguely inspired by a rise in sexual assaults, particularly to the cast members of interactive theater productions. Now, that I think can be attributed to the rise in interactive theater productions. So I blame them. It's not inspired by any particular individual case. I will say I do recall at the same time this episode came out, Gossip Girl had a very similar episode. I don't think it was as aggressive as SVU, but I do know that they had an interactive theater production. Something happened there. And the play that is happening in our episode is inspired by an immersive play called Sleep No More. And this is one that had audience member masks as well, not animals, just masks, I believe. And it was inspired by Macbeth. So, like ours was inspired by Dante's Inferno.
Dante who?
Yes, perfect. Beautiful. So that is the rip from the headline. It's not as ripped as usual, but that's that. I also have some big SVU show news. I'm going to call this a spoiler alert for anyone who doesn't want to know what's going to happen in the season premiere on September 23rd. Or hasn't seen this news. Consider this your spoiler warning, I guess. All right, I've warned you. It was announced that Garland, Chief Garland, and detective now, Kat Tamine, will be leaving the show in the 2-hour season premiere on September 23rd. It was also revealed that this was not a choice that the actors made. Let us discuss, because I see some angry faces.
Yeah, I'm pissed off about this. I've talked. Kat is one of the best characters we've introduced in years and years and years and years. Garland also liked him, and he had so much potential. Like, we already got some really interesting backstory on him. He's in such an interesting position, being like the role that he is. 2 characters of color, LGBTQ rep with Kat. Doesn't feel like the right direction to be moving in. That's my opinion. I will refrain from saying anything more aggressive, but I'm not happy about it.
Well, I'll pick up where you left off. That was some bullshit. And I think that they know that. It's so crazy to me that you're introducing these 2 characters now, and they're both so beloved. I literally can't think of any point where these are like, oh, we hate them, they're annoying. Like, and there are many points where Amara was seriously annoying when he first got to be a part of the show, and where Amanda was very, very annoying when she was a part of the show, and we stuck beside them. And now we get some people and some representation, and I think that's really important too, because you're protecting and serving all demographics of people. And I feel like it just expands storylines, it expands arcs, it expands the capability to really go into different areas, because some people who are in your squad room are just not the people to bring those stories to life. Like, they're not the people to connect with certain victims. Like, and that's just a reality situation. Or their points of education, because the fact that we have different types of people in the squad, like, they educate us about different things. And so it's just like you're taking away 2 people that really bring a very specific point of view and a level of accomplishment too. And you're just taking that like away from us. I just feel like I don't understand. This doesn't make sense. And maybe it will make sense. You know, I had sent this to you guys on IG, and I was mad. I was hot. I had to relax myself, because I was just like, I couldn't believe they did that. And also too, I don't believe the actors are very happy about this either, because post is how I found out, like, this is not our decision.
Like, why would we make them series regulars last season to rip them away the next season? It just doesn't make any sense to me. And of course, there's things we're not privy to behind the scenes, but it still is just fishy in a way I don't like. I don't like it.
And then who comes to replace them?
Exactly.
Right. I agree.
Somebody from organized crime.
Peter Stone comes back.
How dare you?
I'm so sorry. I was so cursed. I'll never say that again.
You know what? We have people in the chat agreeing with us. Alice Jones says, wrong choice, higher ups, wrong choice, especially Lil Garland. And Jennifer says, I wasn't even that much of a fan of Kat, and I'm disappointed she's leaving a bad decision. But she agrees with Felicia, different perspective that was really needed. I think that, you know, all of these are true. I think the way last season was going with Garland, it story-wise makes sense. Like, I understand that. I think that it's more interesting to have him get through this and survive and stay, because that would be interesting, but also because literally the entire world is talking about solving a problem and fixing a system. And now you have a show where you have a Black man in the lead of this team, not the lead of the show, but, you know, at the top, dealing with this. And you've chosen to get rid of him.
It feels like the easy way out, honestly, because it'd be harder story-wise to reconcile with that. And it feels like they're just like, we don't have the time. You know what I mean? It just feels like it's a cop-out. Yeah. Pun intended.
Oh, that's a good pun. I like that.
Thanks.
But also, you know, so the Garland thing is that. And then Kat, we just met her. We promoted her. We promoted the actress to series regular. Like, this character is something we've never had on the show, and you're just gonna get rid of her, and it's heartbreaking, especially because as What were you saying? Sorry.
It's like the youth of the group. Everybody else is rubbing Bengay on their knees.
Yeah, that's the other thing, is that she's got this new perspective. She is of a younger generation. She is, you know, in a conversation like today's episode, she would have been the one who would have fought back to the question of, well, she's an actress. And I cannot believe we're getting rid of her.
Well, let me ask you guys a question, because I'm thinking, right, trying to be like on the, you know, positive side or whatever. What could happen in that 2-hour season premiere that will make it be okay of
I'll tell you.
Leaving? Okay.
They get a spinoff of their own. That's the only thing I will be okay with, is if they get their own show.
That's probably not going to happen. For me,
well, then it's not going to be okay.
For me, it's if they bring somebody back from the past that we've been wanting and need. I just thought of this question, so I don't even know my own answer. But I'm just trying to think of something that would remedy this for fans to make losing both of them. Why are we losing those two people? Because those are 2 paychecks. Everything is money, baby. Those are 2 paychecks. So those 2 paychecks going to be one character. Who's coming back? Who could it be? Is someone coming back? Why would you be getting rid of 2 series regulars who you have given very much so important storylines where even from now, they can never be on the show again? We will still reference the time that they were on the show because they made an impact while they were there. So 2 characters have made an impact. Who are we trading them off for? Who are we getting? Somebody is, I want to believe somebody big is coming back, and maybe they needed to make a little room for them or something, because what's the trade-off here? It has a better option, right? I want to believe there's a better option.
I understand that thinking, and I think that you are right that if that is the case, then it definitely is going to be, you know, last one in, first one out, because they needed that money. And I understand that. I just can't think of who they could bring that would make sense to lose 2 people of color, 1 queer character. Like, who are you? Because everybody else you have is not those things.
At all. I can't think of it either.
Unless you're bringing back BD Wong, which is the only one that would make sense to fill those holes.
I'd love to see him again.
I would too, but I do not foresee him coming back as a regular.
Yeah, I mean, Barbas would sort of fit-ish, but it doesn't make sense to bring him back either, because it's not like we're replacing. And we also have Carisi doing the lawyer stuff, so it doesn't even make sense to bring him back, like, in any capacity, like that kind of capacity.
I just want to believe that it makes sense for a show that has constantly been on the forefront of issues, whether they did it properly or didn't do it properly, whatever, they tried, right? So it's a show that always seems like they try. And so I need to believe that there's something for this decision that makes some type of sense that we just don't know, because it's not L&O Thursdays with the new Law and Order. I mean, I'm not watching Organized Crime, but y'all can watch. Well, I guess I have to, kind of.
You're too busy watching Chicago.
I watched it all. I finished it.
Okay. We're getting off topic here, because fuck Chicago.
I just like to roast Felicia.
I think, sorry, just to clarify, I'm talking about the shows, not the city. The city's wonderful. So I think that I do not think that they're removing them to bring someone back. I would be interested if they're removing them to bring in a new person. I wonder what that would be. I think, again, the Garland stuff story-wise makes sense. Like, at the end of the season, he was being harassed and attacked, and his job was on the line. So it makes sense story-wise. Kat's, at this point, does not make sense. So she either needs to get promoted, move to a better unit. Like, if she quits or dies, there'd be a whole bunch.
If she dies, if either of them die, it's gonna be hell to pay from me.
That's the first time in the show's history that like a reoccurring. Okay, yeah, you're right.
Maybe Dobbs.
Sorry about him, but he's not. Yeah, not
anyway.
Not exactly. I mean, like someone
that we like.
No, I did like him. I liked him too. I didn't think I didn't want to see him die. He seemed like a really nice guy. So this is the second time we'll see it.
The show does not like to kill off characters so that they can bring them back at some point. Is something that I think I read once. So I don't think we're going to see them die. It would be a bummer. And I can't imagine getting rid. I don't know if you recall, years ago, there was a discussion about a spinoff called Law and Order Hate Crimes. And if Kat is going to that and is leading that, or is, one of the two leads, fine. You know what I mean? Like,
yes, that's why I said that. I said if they get their own spinoff, fine. If not, I'm not okay with it. It just doesn't feel like that's what's happening. Because we've not heard any mutterings about that in the way that the information was released to us via her social media. It does not feel like that's the case.
Yeah. She literally just says, Jamie says on her social media, it's with a heavy heart that I confirm Kat's departure from the squadron. The decision was made above my pay grade and wouldn't have been my choice. But hey, that's showbiz for you. To anyone who felt represented by any part of Kat's being or mission, please know that you will always have representation in me. Thank you to the SV universe for welcoming me with open arms. It's been an experience that I have grown from greatly and will never forget. That's not somebody who wanted to lose their job at all. I feel bad because the way Law and Order is, I feel like she probably had a lot of hope for being on that show for a long time.
Yeah.
Of Amanda Rollins' character especially. And so she probably was like, Jamie probably was like, yeah, this is it. And people say they love being on that set. That's a dream job. I feel bad, but I'm sure that she'll bounce back. I
hope so.
Else. She's too dope. She's too awesome. And Law and Order is the secret sauce. I mean, literally how many people are just on Law and Order just for one episode, a couple episodes, and they're just household names now. So
give her Adam Driver treatment, baby. Let's go.
I love it. All right. That's the big show news we want to talk about. We'll probably talk about it some more as more information comes in. And of course we'll be talking about it on
be worth it.
Yeah. All right, it's time for, oh crap, I forgot. What did we learn?
Why do you always forget that?
I always forget about this segment. Felicia, you prepared?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Oh, go.
What I learned is I just doubled down on the fact that I can spot a hater a mile away. I'm good with it. I need to double down and trust that feeling in myself, because whether it's on TV or in real life, I have that. You remember your mom? Has your mom ever told you that ain't your friend? I have that type of energy. Oh no, she's not your friend. That's not. I can spot a hater a mile away, and don't ever bring no one beet juice when they're down. Bring them,
that's true.
A Fresca, something good, not beet juice.
Taylor, what did you learn?
Well, I did learn. I mean, I've watched this episode before, and I didn't realize how insane it was that Amanda Rollins was the voice of reason. That was crazy to me. I learned that, and I also learned that I want some of those sustained overruled cufflinks. That sounds so cool.
I agree.
I always love that detail. I'm I want some. I'm not a lawyer and I don't have anything to wear cufflinks with, but those are sick. I love that.
Those are good. I learned that if Felicia is down, I should definitely not bring her beet juice.
Please don't.
I learned one of the things at the end of this episode is they talk a lot about the their industry is competitive and cutthroat, and our industry is competitive and cutthroat as well. And I learned how lucky I am that I am in a community of very supportive women in my field, and that we don't. I have never felt that I'm someone's competition and that they are my competition, that we are fighting for the same role. I've always felt like we are in it together, and we always suggest each other and put each other up for stuff. I know at least in this gang, we definitely do. So I learned that I'm so lucky.
Yeah, I've never felt that either, except for when today you said it was your show. But other than that, I feel very supported by all of you.
Taylor is a dog with a bone. Y'all said that one time. This Taylor
I gotta bring it back one more time because we're almost done with this episode. I'm totally kidding, and Yeah, I agree with you. I feel the same way.
I also learned, and I think this is the most important thing from this entire episode, is motion activated is terrific until she gets a cat.
So true.
I think that's my favorite line. Oh wait, did anybody else learn anything? No. Okay. All right. No. We have some announcements. First and foremost, thank you to everyone who's been watching and listening to us. Felicia has pointed it out twice, and I will point it out a third time, that we have iTunes. We are available on iTunes for audio-only version of the show. And if you listen to us there, please give us a rating and a review. If you like us, you can give us 5 stars. If you do not like us, you can give us 4 stars, because Taylor and I tested this recently, and the other stars don't work.
So weird. I don't know why, but
yeah,
you have to go with it.
But if you give us the 4 stars, you have to let us know what we can improve upon, because otherwise we cannot improve. So please give us those stars and let us know. And if you leave us a review, we have offered to read them out on the show. And we have said that we will do it in accents or voices. So far, we have agreed that I will read them out in what is being referred to as my phone sex voice.
Yep.
And I'm going to throw in that Felicia will read them out in a Gilbert Gottfried voice. Now that she's done it for us.
No, because now somebody's definitely going to want that to happen. Because I'm about to write a review just so I can do it.
I will make a burner account and do it tonight.
And Taylor, what voice will you be offering?
I don't know. I can try to do an accent. I'm really bad at them, so that could be fun.
Great. So those are your choices. Let us know in the review which one you want. It's phone sex, Gilbert Gottfried.
Pick your pervert. Pick your pervert.
Pick your pervert. These are great. Also, if you haven't seen our ridiculous merch, there's a link for it in the description. Currently, you can get a Slammin' Pair of Jeans onesie, Justice for Snowball stuff, and of course, the prescription for orgasms with consent.
Of course. We have our poll too. I don't know if you want to do that.
Yeah, let's do that. I've forgotten completely about the poll.
I didn't know. I was like, this feels a little late in the game for this, but that's fine. So we have a poll we do weekly. It's my show now. So last week we asked you guys what your favorite episode where a parent covers for their kid is. Did you just?
It's you.
It's your show.
It's a lot of pressure. It's true. And so our options there were Control, Sin, Sugar, and Pop. Coming in at 4th place was Sin at season 8, episode 17. Sorry, Sin. In 3rd place, we had Pop, which is season 12, episode 11. Great episode. Don't know why it ranked so low, but it's fine. You guys voted, not me. I just made it. In 2nd place, we had Control, which is season 5, episode 9. And coming in at 1st place, in its rightful position, honestly, was Sugar, which was season 11, episode 2. It was the best. I'm glad that that was reflected. You got it right this week. Congratulations. This week's poll. I got so mean when you put me in the center there.
You lost your right to be the center.
I'm sorry, the power went to my head so fast. So this week we are asking what your favorite episode revolving around an actor is. So we have Theater Tricks, which is the one we just discussed, season 13, episode 11. We have Reasonable Doubt, which is season 15, episode 22. Yael, would you mind telling us a synopsis of this one? It's the Bradley Whitford episode.
Okay, so this is Whitford. Okay, so
Whitford, whoa.
This is the episode that was loosely inspired by Roman Polanski and Woody Allen. And it's the story is that he is a director-producer, and his daughter says that he touched her, and then it turns out that the mom was coaching the daughter, but it's possible that he did touch her because he also left the mom for her little sister, and then there's another sister who found out, or who reveals that she was also with him. Anyway, so it's a really good one.
Yes. Okay. We also have Producers Backend, season 16, episode 3. Yael, take it away.
Okay, so this is the one that is the Amanda Bynes / Lindsay Lohan episode, and it's got the girl who was an actress who like was a teen star, kid star, and then kind of used drugs and whatever, and got to car accidents and was in rehab and all that stuff. And her name is Tensley Adams. Why do I remember these
Mara
things?
was a beat cop.
Mara was a beat cop. Yeah. And then this is the one where we have the whole conversation about the blowjob underwater where the girl drowned. Such a great episode.
What a time. And then we finally have Agent Provocateur, which is season 16, episode 11. Yeah, isn't this one of your faves?
This is one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the one where the girl wakes up in the suitcase. And this is the James Franco storyline, where he was. So in the episode, she's this fan and she's Instagramming with some guy, and then she meets him at a party, and then it's a question of whether he drugged and raped her or not, and how she got into the suitcase. And it turns out that it was his co-star, and Patti LuPone is in it as the agent.
Incredible.
So, yeah.
Love that. So yeah, we'll tell you where to find that in just a second.
Yes, thank you for letting me describe those episodes.
Thank you for doing that.
Thank you for staying in your seat, because I thought you were going to take off like a rocket ship.
They're just such good episodes. All of those are such good episodes.
They are.
Tough poll.
Oh man, I was like, should I watch these right now? Is this what I'm going to do the rest of my day?
Absolutely.
Maybe. So anyway, we told you about the merch. We told you about the iTunes. We told you about the poll. Oh, we got to tell you what we're doing next week. We're doing an episode next week. We don't know which one yet, because we had a plan and that plan fell through. So I did tweet that I really want to do Ballerina, but I only want to do Ballerina if we can get Matthew Lillard on the show. Yeah. So I'm going to re-up that tweet, and if you would like to comment on it and like it and start bothering him about it,
just gently ask.
Yeah.
Start a campaign.
Yeah, I think it might be really great if we do that next week. And if not next week, whenever the show goes on hiatus for the first time, because I'm sure it'll be in a couple.
It'll be like 2 weeks after it premieres.
Like, we're going to give you 3 episodes. Like, we're going to do like Grace and Frankie on Netflix.
Yep. There's actually a really good chance that we just have the 2-hour premiere and then we go on break.
We're done for the rest of the year.
It's like, come on. Dick was like, give you a little leg, take it away. Like, come on.
Teaching us about entitlement.
Realize we're in the binge watching generation. Okay, we're ready to watch all 29,000 episodes.
That's true.
Next week.
All right. Well, we don't know what we're doing yet. We'll start this campaign to get Matthew Lillard on the show. I want to thank some people who are here live with us. We appreciate it. Jennifer, Audrey-O, Alice Jones, Zach is here as well. Thank you for being here. Until next week when we do something. Felicia, where are you at? And what are you up to these days?
I wish I was in my bed sleeping, but I'm working.
I thought that was it. You were done.
Bye.
But I'm working. You can find me on you can download National Black Television app. I do Talk It Up. It's a talk show where we just talk about all types of fun things like trending topics, politics, all that good stuff. And also on the Leverage Redemption, the official Leverage Redemption after show podcast. I hadn't know how to put the look on it. And all 8 episodes are already out. They're great. Yes. All 8 episodes are out. They're amazing. They're great. You will love them. Lots of great interviews and stuff. And, stay tuned. Watch that, catch up with all of that, because we're getting up. And you can find that. You can Roku, Apple, whatever. Download the Electric Now app, and you can find that streaming on there. You can watch all the episodes. And I'm on Instagram. Oh, and I'm on TikTok. I've been TikToking, y'all. I've been doing dances, but I've been making other content on there. So
doing those transitions.
Yeah. Can you put me back to regular size? Because
it's a lot of pressure.
It's so much.
A lot of pressure.
It's sweating.
Scary.
All right,
wasn't ready for my close up. Yeah, go ahead and put me in the middle. You guys can find me
and the
poll. Yes, on Twitter at @alphabet_, and you can also find me on Instagram at Taylor_Gates_. I also host a Twilight podcast called Win and Forks, and write for Show Snob, where I am recapping 9 Perfect Strangers every week. Only 2 episodes left. It's It's gonna get wild, so come join me there too. Thanks.
Taylor, speaking of When in Forks, did you know that there's some, it's like a parody of Twilight, I think, called Vampires Suck, that starred Jen Prosky, who played Megan in this episode?
I didn't know that. I haven't seen it. I knew of it. I've heard the rumors. I've seen the poster. I've not watched it, but now I think I must.
Yeah, I literally was like, where have I seen her before? Oh, I haven't. And then I saw that, and I was like,
that's incredible.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you for blessing me with that knowledge.
You're welcome.
We acknowledge that Taylor has a different background. Taylor, why do you have a different background? Where are you at, and what are you doing? That's so cool.
I am staying at my parents' house because it was close to a film festival that my film Academic Super Squad was in that I wrote and directed. Thanks, guys.
So proud of you.
Very, very proud of you.
I'm Yael Tygiel. I'm everywhere at Yael Tygiel. That is YAELTYGIEL. Thanks, Felicia. Also, coming up in about an hour, I think, on the Super Lady Hero Hour YouTube channel, I will be discussing Shang-Chi, the new Marvel movie. I also have a show on Wednesdays called Hollywood Approved over on the Hollywood Critics Association YouTube channel. And you can find me on Electric now on the official Leverage Redemption After Show, a very distinctive podcast with Felicia. All it
better than me.
I just say it a lot.
It's her show. No, it's not even. It's getting old. I need to stop.
I really hope the fans don't think that I'm some sort of diva.
No, I'm literally messing with you.
That is hilarious.
Anyway, go check that out. That's all I'm gonna say.
Saying it, and I'm not like refuting it. I'm just like laughing and stuff. I'm sorry, y'all.
I'm totally kidding.
Okay, thanks,
but I'll never let it go. Just to let you know.
No. But what you did say before we go, though, like what you did say, yo, like what you learned, it really stuck out to me because the reason we can all sit here and laugh and do all that stuff is because we actually do support each other in real life, not just like on this show. And we actually like really root for each other.
Could you imagine if we were just this nice to each other on the show?
Oh my God!
Uncomfy.
So people probably are not even sure if we're actually friends.
They're like, are they okay over there?
Like,
no, the answer is no.
We're talking about rape. We mentioned racism, homophobia, and anti-Semitic stuff. Like, we're not good. We're not good.
It'd be bad. It'd be very bad.
Take it out of all the context. It sounds horrible, but it's love. It's love.
I think the best part is we don't edit this, so
nope.
If the word comes out of our mouth, it stays in the show.
It's staying. It's there to stay.
Real cheese do real things.
And on that note, we'll see you next week, everybody. Let's go bother and harass Matthew Lillard.
Yes.
Love.